Good afternoon, and first and foremost, on behalf of the Commission, we'd like to wish everybody a safe and joyous holiday season, or as we say back in the old country, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Not allowed to say that anymore, right? But anyway, from the old school. So welcome to the Honolulu Liquor Commission. Please silence your cell phones. And if you're appearing today before the commission, introduce yourself, your client, and spell your name for us. And if you're here to testify on anything that's on the agenda, please come forward, be sworn in by Ms. or I, and spell your name for our commission's reporter. With that being said, let's move into the public hearing. Calling agenda item number 1, application number 19-16621 from Tree Troon USA Inc. Mr. Lee.
James Lee, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. James Lee, on behalf of Tri-Tune USA Inc., DBA Tri-Tune USA. Seated to my right is Mr. Dae-Jin Kim, D-A-E-J-I-N, last name K-I-N. And I have all the answers to the questions you posed to me, but before that.
Okay, yes. Have you had an opportunity to look at the investigator's report?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have any, are you agreed?
Nothing to add.
Okay, so let me go through the procedure. Ms. Arai.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application? Seeing none. Commissioners, do you have any questions for Mr. Lee?
Yes, if I may, I just want to explain what these pictures represent. And first of all, it's a warehouse, and Mr. Kim will be resorting to a container there, refrigerated container,
Correct.
to be more specific. And the warehouse, the last time we were here, some of the commissioners were concerned with the security measures there. And we went back and got some information to the questions that you posed. But first of all, they have a very strict, warehouse has a very strict procedure. So any visitors, whether you're a tenant or not, must check in with the office. And then if you want to retrieve your stuff, you have to be escorted by the employees. So the first page is their procedure. The second page is a very bad picture of an inside-out view of the entrance. And with my ugly handwriting, I indicated that to the left is the office, to the right where the employees sit. But picture was so bad that I went back and took some more pictures. So if you look at the page 3, it will show the office to your left. That's where you have to check in whenever you want to retrieve your stuff or store your stuff there. And page 4, the employee and guard desk, you should refer to the picture 7 that I just provided today. That gives you a clearer picture of what that dark place looks like. Okay, so after you check in with the office, you'll be referred to one of the employees there to retrieve your stuff. And the gentleman wearing the green shirts, they're the employees there who will help you retrieve your stuff. And then you go wait outside. They'll bring your stuff outside with a forklift, as shown on picture 5, and they load it onto your car. That's their procedure. And back to some of the questions that were posed to me as a homework by the commissioners. How many tenants are there? I am informed that there are about 80 to 100 so-called temporary short-term tenants who leave their stuff there, either deliver or pick them up. But very short, maybe a couple of days to a week. Short-term tenants, about 80 to 100, but any given moment. And there are about 10 to 12 more or less regular tenants who store their stuff there on regular basis. And Mr. Kim would be one of them. So 10 to 12 regular tenants, 80 to 100 temporary short-term tenants. And any incidents of a burglary or break-in, none. As far as they're concerned, they didn't have any burglaries or break-ins at that location warehouse. And there was also a question as to, is there any security guard on site during and after hours? Well, as you see on picture 7, there are 3 or 4 employees in green shirts on site during business hour. And after hours, if you will refer to the picture 6, on the this is outside looking in at the front entrance, you will see that the Sonitrol, they're the alarm company. They have who have set up infrared and motion detecting, all that good stuff inside the warehouse. So after hours, they're in charge of the security. And lastly, what are the business hours? Oh, Saturday, from Monday through Friday, they open from 7:30 to 4 p.m. and Saturday, Sunday they're closed. Okay, that were those were the specific questions that you wanted some answers to last time we were here.
Okay. So Commissioners, do you have any questions for the applicant, Mr. Lee?
Can you state the warehouse hours again?
Oh, the Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4 p.m.
In the application, it looks like your client's requesting, or indicating business hours from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Is that to be modified?
That's okay, we can live with that, that's no problem. Lastly, and but not least, the Commissioner Min was particularly concerned about using a padlock. Well, I've asked my client to come up with something better than just a regular padlock, so we're gonna use a lockbox. It's not easy to sew off. Okay.
I have another question. According to the, I think it was the initial investigative report, it indicates that about 200,000 is gonna be spent on construction, furniture, fixtures, and equipment. What comprises that 200,000?
100,000, I'm not sure what that refers to.
It seemed like a high number, that's why I raised it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand, where did that number come from?
It's in the, hold on. Investigative report dated October 1st, 2019, top of page 2.
No, there must have been some sort of information off the financial statement. This, I really
Can we hear
don't.
from supervising, licensing supervisor, Southwick, please? Clear that out.
Supervising Investigator Daniel Salto.
Could you respond to,
Oh, I'm sorry, if I may, client just informed me that there might have been reference to the fact that in order to qualify for the E2 visa, that's the sort of like a minimum amount of investment that you have to invest, not for setting up
well,
office or
let's hear
anything to
from
do.
the gentleman that handled your application, because we base our decision on his opinion.
Okay.
As stated in the report, it says 200,000 will be spent for the construction, furniture, and fixtures. Also, it was noted that there's only going to be one employee that's under this wholesale license. I think Mr. Lee just described that there's going to be multiple people handling the liquor.
No. Initially, there will be just him, and if the business should expand and grow, they may have to move out of there, and then set up a new office and hire more people. That's,
I think he's referring to the gentlemen that are in the pictures that you referred to as the warehouse workers or security guards. And in the procedures, you also said that MTS personnel would be taking items out and.
no, they're just strictly, they're just gonna help retrieve your stuff from the
That's what
container.
I'm saying, so that if they are,
They're not
coming in
our
contact-
employees.
I understand that, but you understand that this is a liquor license, so if they are handling the alcohol, they need to be employees of the licensee. that can
How
cause some
else are we
issues.
gonna retrieve our stuff from container without the assistance of the employees at the warehouse?
You cannot hire your own employees to do that?
Okay.
What did it say?
Okay, right now, initially, he's gonna be doing it, but as business grows, he will hire somebody, the delivery man, who will then be registered with the liquor commission later on. But right now, he'll be the only guy handling the liquor. So am I to understand that the people?
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Understand it. Would you like to continue this matter until you can clarify everything for this commission? Because what you're saying, what our investigator is saying, and what we're trying to understand, it's all chop suey.
And it might help if you could speak with the investigators so
Yes,
that you
we
can
will.
Okay,
understand
right.
what the parameters of the license are gonna be. So that when they come in to investigate, there isn't all kinds of confusion, and then your client's subject to those violations if a violation occurs.
We will not allow anybody to handle liquor that is not licensed or a member of the licensee's staff. So if these people sitting here in the yellow shirts are gonna be moving around the liquor and they're not registered with this commission, then that's a violation. So before we get to that point, I'm asking you, would you like to continue this, work with the licensing investigators, and come back and give us some solid information that we can make a prudent decision?
Yes, we will. We'll continue.
To the January 2 setting. January 2 is the next available setting.
Okay, January 2nd.
And then public hearing kept open.
Motion to continue agenda item number 1, application number 19-16621 to January 2nd, 2020.
Second?
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 1 is continued to January 2, 2020. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Calling agenda item number 2, application number 19-16971 from Shia Kia Holdings, Inc.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the commission.
Thank you.
Keith Kiuchi on behalf of the applicant. To my right is Eddie Wakita, W-A-K-I-D-A. He's an officer and director of the applicant.
Thank you. Ms. Rai?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application. And for the record, a summary of the October 24th preliminary hearing testimony was provided to Commissioner Miyashiro prior to the public hearing.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application? Seeing none, Commissioners?
Motion to approve, application number 19-16971.
Second?
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 2, application number 19-16971 is approved. Calling agenda item number 3, application number 19-16973 from Shia Kia Holdings, Inc.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. Keith Kiuchi on behalf of the applicant. To my right is Eddie Wakita. He's an officer and director of the applicant.
Ms. Rai?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application. And for the record, a summary of the October 24th preliminary hearing testimony was provided to Commissioner Miyashiro prior to the public hearing.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application? Seeing none, Commissioners?
Okay, motion to approve application number 19-16973.
Second?
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 3, application number 19-16973 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Calling agenda item number 4, application number 19-16988 from OEK Mall LLC.
Yes, Chair, due to the conflict, I'm gonna have to recuse from this agenda item.
Thank you, Commissioner Lee.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Russ.
Hold on one time, Mr.
Okay, sorry.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, Devin Nakoba, representing. They're very excited to be here today.
So aren't we?
The owners of Highway Inn, Russell Ryan and Monica Taguchi Ryan.
Very good. Thank you. Ms. Arai.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 4 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application. And for the record, a summary of the October 10th preliminary hearing testimony was provided to Commissioner Miyashiro prior to the public hearing.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application? Seeing none, Commissioners, do you have anything to order from the menu? I mean, no. Do you have any questions?
That's good.
No? Yeah, no.
Okay, motion to approve application number 19-1698.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 4, application number 19-16988 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
Yeah.
Okay, moving into the special license applications, agenda item number 5, application number 20-21073 from Grove Child Charities.
Good afternoon, members of the Commission. Lance Suchia, on behalf of Groove Child Charities, LANCE, last name TSUCHIYA. Seated to my right, Mr. Polele Alcon, owner of Hawaii's Finest.
Okay, very good. Commissioners?
Chair,
Yes.
if possible, prior to reviewing,
Would you
agenda
like to
item
move,
five.
would you
Yeah.
like to call agenda item number 12? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's recess agenda item number 5 and move on to agenda item number 12, your post-event report. Okay?
If I may furnish something that we prepared for our
Fine.
poster.
Commissioners, do you have any questions?
Could you walk us through the event, please?
Yes, so we did a show at Mr. Alcan's store in Kamakanali. Jay Boog, who is a pretty popular local artist in Hawaii, performed along with Fiji and some other local entertainers. And you know, it's primarily to promote the brand and like a Christmas show. You know, we're doing again this weekend. You know, a little bit closer to the holidays. I'd like you to bring your attention to the top right-hand corner of the picture. So right behind the entertainer, you guys can see riot gates running down the center. That's a 3-foot gap between our overage drinkers consuming alcohol and the underage patrons that came to the event. And then on the bottom left picture, under advisement from the commission, we decided to implement food. So we did bring in a partnership with Papa John's Pizza, who served pizza throughout the night. 2/3 of our participants were underage. It was heavily a family-oriented event. There were moms with babies strapped to them, you know, dancing and enjoying the music. So it's not, you know, the events that we're putting on are not geared to, you know, that party at high energy. It's local music, it's reggae and local music, and it's a real wholesome event. You know, it's a way for Palele to perpetuate his brand and bring the music and the culture to the people, and it falls in line with his brand and my mission as the nonprofit as well.
Mr. Alcon, were you present at both of these events?
Yes.
Anything to add other than what was already stated?
No, it was a beautiful event, a lot of families, we had no incidents. And a lot of people on the west side, they're really excited about us opening up and having these events for the whole family to enjoy.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no further questions from the
I
commission?
have one more question.
Okay.
Mr. Suchia, what percentage or what amount of the proceeds from this event went to the charity?
So once we take out the production costs, the entertainers' fees, you know, the all of the production costs, including the security, the rental of the riot gates, and all of the staffing that we provide, not much, you know, a few $100s goes towards the nonprofit, and that goes towards a bank. We're trying to open a youth center on that side, which we're trying to negotiate a lease for right now.
Okay.
Any impact on the shoppers?
Yeah, it brings a lot of attention to the brand. You know, we did an event a little bit prior to the 6 and 7 date, which was his grand opening there, and phenomenal response. You know, and same format. You know, geared towards the families, local entertainers, and it really helps. You know, the not only Paulele's brand, but the entire Kamakana Ali'i shopping center, which is in, I mean, they're losing tenants here and there. It's kind of a rough time, you know, they have big corporate tenants out there that, you know, are not really, you know, drawing to the shopping center. So Kamakana Ali'i, the management and staff, they enjoy our presence out there. And they really, you know, if you guys contact them, you know, I was trying to furnish something from the general manager, but he's a little bit busy, but they really are all for us putting on these events out there.
Back to
Just
fund.
I guess I can require him to somebody that. Okay, so if there's no further questions, then no action is required on this. Now we'll go back into agenda item number 5, application number 20-21073 from Grove Child Charities. Please introduce yourself again for
Good afternoon, members of the commission. Lance Suchia on behalf of Groove Child Charities. Seated to my right, Mr. Palele Alcon of Hawaii's Finest.
very good. Commissioners?
So Mr. Suchio, who is our lineup for this?
We have Fiji,
Fiji, Tanel, Maoli from Maui, and
Penny,
Penny Dean.
Same setup,
same setup,
no changes from the last event?
none.
This one's free, right?
No, this one is $10 covered.
The
Yeah.
document I have says cost of tickets free.
Oh. We are handing out tickets all week to everybody who spends $100. We give free tickets to at the store.
But at the door is $10.
Yeah.
I have a question for you folks. It seems like you're putting on these events more and more often in a essentially retail space, a space not essentially permitted for big assembly uses, crowds and whatnot. Has the management set a number of times you can have events during the year, or have you had that discussion with them?
when the lease was originally negotiated, we told them we may try to do it once a month. It's not definitive as a set amount of times throughout the year. But the management at the shopping center is fine with us doing as many of these events as one. It's good, it's great for the rest of their tenants.
Right,
there.
I understand that it is great. It's just that there's a lot of people now in a space that, you know, not been.
We've on the occupancy side, we've reached out to fire department. And we're moving towards issuing a certificate of occupancy for the space with
To the
regard
fire
to us.
department.
Yeah, but right now, per the square footage, the linear square footage of our exits, we have a predetermined occupancy. It's not official yet, which
Okay,
is
yeah, as long as you work with them and,
yeah.
Get it done the right way.
And you folks listed in your application the number of people expected to attend at 400. Is that 400 per night? Because this is a request for 2 nights, right?
Okay, so the Friday event has been moved to the Republic, and we're only doing the Saturday event.
Okay, so that's the correction. So you're requesting Saturday, December 21st.
That is correct.
And so the expectation is around 400 on the Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. And the request is up until 11:59 p.m. What time does the mall close?
They're closed at 11.
So it should give you folks some time to clean up and
Yeah.
make sure that there's no open containers.
Okay, motion to approve application number 20-21073 with the revision of this license is to cover just the date of December 21st, Saturday, 2019.
Thank you.
Second?
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 5, application number 20-21073 is approved for December 21st, 2019. Good luck again.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move into agenda item number 6, a preliminary hearing. Application number 20-20469 from K-Win Corporation, DBA Kickin' Cajun. Ms. Wu.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Min Young-woo on behalf of K-Wind Corporation. On my right is General Manager Jess Wright.
Very good, thank you. Commissioners?
No corrections necessary to the
Thank you.
investigative
Okay.
report.
Ms. Wu, I have attached to the investigated licensing report on some histories of violation. Is this related to your client who's seated here?
It's related to the owners of the restaurants. The Jess will be a general manager. The first time she will be managing actually on the restaurant. And we previously we discussed about it. You can probably hear from her, but she will be extra careful with the training for the employees.
Okay, and she has experience managing a restaurant, or is this first time management
First time
experience?
managing,
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Wu, would you represent to this commission that the violation 27351 that occurred on 06/30/2019 is not under your clients?
Can you repeat it one more time? But
Okay, so I'm looking at the violation history. There was a violation that was committed on 06/30/2019. Is your client responsible for that violation?
no,
Okay. For the record, can you state that, please?
no,
Okay,
no.
thank you very much. Commissioner?
Okay, motion to to approve application number 20-20469.
Second?
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 6, application number 20-20469 is approved. Good luck. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 7, a stock transfer application, application number 19-16898 from Jermaine's Luau. Mr. Kiuchi.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. Keith Kiuchi on behalf of the applicant. It's my pleasure to introduce to you, to my right, Roy Fund, PFUND. Mr. Fund is the president of Jermaine's Luau Inc. He's also the new president of Roberts Hawaii. We have no additions or corrections to the investigator's report.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Okay, motion to approve stock transfer application number 19-16898.
Second?
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 7, application number 19-16898 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Calling agenda item number 8, request number 20-20816 from Aloha Beer Company LP, DBA Aloha Beer Company. Mr. Shinsato.
Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. Ross Shinsato, authorized agent for Aloha Beer Company LP. And to my right is Operations Manager Dave Campbell, CAMPBELL. I have one change to the report. We have since obtained the zoning clearance and are also asking for a partial final inspection.
That's pending.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Commissioners?
One question, the letter exhibit D attached to the report, I think it represents certain times when music will be played at the proposed area. Can you elaborate on that? It's the bottom of the first page.
Okay, yeah, so, for the live music you're asking?
Both and even the.
Okay, so for a happy hour, you know, this is additional seating area and event space, and those events could take place from morning on up. As we have in our other seating areas, we will, you know, look to have speakers in the same area that run the same loop that's played in the rest of the facility. Nature of a beer garden is we lights out on the early side. It's more of a sort of a, you know, mid to late afternoon into the evening, and we also have residential units on our property, you know, that we're aware of. So it's something that starts up early and shuts down early. Amplified, and it, like I say, the same track that we play inside of Aloha Beer Company. We're not cranking it. It's just more atmospheric. And occasionally when we have special events, which we've had a number using special event permits, we've had live musicians. Again, it starts early and ends early, and we're very aware and vigilant of the noise levels. So it's not a party place. It's more, you know, we've got a gathering place for weddings, graduations, office parties, that type of thing.
Okay, and you've already addressed my concerns because there are apartments or condominiums in the area.
Yes.
And I believe the garden's gonna face Queen Street,
Yes, it is.
so just be mindful of your neighbors and be good
Absolutely.
citizens.
Anytime we've had these events, in fact, the last one, we go walk around the block while the music's playing, my wife and I. And we walk around slow to just see if we hear, and it's a block away from here and you don't hear anything. And when you go at Eva and Diamond Head, you don't hear much. It kinda hits goes out and bounces back towards the Waterhouse building, who's our landlord at Aloha Beer.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Sure.
I have just one question, kind of a concern. Queen Street is very narrow, and I
Sure.
know that you folks are kind of flush almost with the street, with the exception of that, you know, parking area, but that you're gonna now be using for outdoor seating or something like that?
Okay, so yeah, but it's an existing parking lot, quite a ways off.
Okay.
At that point, if you've walked there,
Yeah,
it's an extra wide sidewalk And in fact, a portion of our property line, as most people think, is city sidewalk. And we're putting our demising line for our garden area actually off of our property line. So you'll have a standard a standard sidewalk plus an additional 5.5 feet that's ours but is utilized for sidewalk.
Okay.
And then our place. So there's actually, it's a pretty wide.
My concern is when you folks have events or, you know, a lot of people patronizing your establishment, that there'll be people kind of hanging real close to the street or kind of on the street. And we have issues here in Honolulu with pedestrian fatalities or,
Sure,
you know,
sure.
Uber or people dropping
Yeah.
off people right there in the front. If you
Yeah.
guys can please be mindful with trying to manage that.
Absolutely, I think it states there, we do have a fence that's gonna be going in to keep them from real close to Queen Street.
Yeah.
As per the Uber and Lyft, honestly, the stuff I've seen, not just in front of my places, and we say it's the A, but I get it, and we'll be as vigilant as can be, but
Okay.
U-turns in the middle of Main Streets
Maybe a
are-
little
are-
sign that, you know, off to it says
Sure, we're
Uber stop
yeah,
here or something.
absolutely open to any and all suggestions like that.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Thanks.
Okay, can I say something really quick, Mr. Chair? With respect to this item, the request for the partial final inspection, typically if we had received it in time, would have been a supplemental report appended to the licensing investigative report. We were not able to do that. So if the commission is inclined to favorably grant the request for partial final inspection, if you will include that in, as part of your motion.
Yeah, very good, yeah. Would you provide us with the verbiage for that, please?
Okay, just that.
It's not on your memo, is it?
No, because I got it a couple of,
Yeah, thank you.
a couple of minutes before we gavelled in, so
Yes, I know.
basically.
I did read your
Right.
memo.
So if the commission is so inclined to grant the request for the permanent increase, you would also, if you are so inclined, approve the request for a partial final inspection so that they are able to, I guess, occupy a part of it immediately pending the completion of the rest of the alterations.
Okay, motion to approve request number 20-20816, with the, also approving the partial/final inspection.
Second. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 8, request number 20-20816 is approved. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 9, request number 20-21074 from GB Acquisitions, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. I believe included in your desk folder was correspondence from the licensee indicating the withdrawal of this request.
Okay. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to withdraw agenda item 9, request number 20-20171.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 9 is withdrawn. Calling agenda item number 10, request number 20-21089 from FEC Kamuki Partners LLC.
Yes, Chair, due to a conflict, I'm going to keep on this agenda item.
Thank you, Commissioner Lee.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission. Keith Kiyuchi on behalf of the licensee. To my right is April Whiting Karaguchi. She's an officer and director of the licensee. First, I want to apologize for us getting this in late. We had an issue because Dr. Rossiter, who's the director of Waikiki Aquarium, was in the hospital, so we couldn't get his signature in a timely manner. Just to kind of go through this with the commission, this has been a catering that's been going on since August 26, 2015. It's from 5:15 to 7:45 at night on the grounds of the Waikiki Aquarium, attended by approximately 150 people. The area of service is between 75 to 120, 75 by 120 feet. The significant development in the last month is that Champs is now doing all of the proteins for the luau, where they were supplying before mainly poke and poi, and now they're doing most, if not all, of the food for the luau. That's just occurred within the last 30 days.
Very good.
And, Mr. Kyuchi, so this is for 50 intermittent dates from January 2nd through March 30th. So
That's
how
correct.
when are these luau events scheduled at the aquarium?
They're scheduled through a company called King's Luau, runs the luau. So what they do is they give us the dates. That's why we don't have the dates like 6 months. You know, we have it
But
like
on
30.
average, about
Yeah.
how many happen in a week or a month?
4 days a week. Yeah.
4 days a week.
Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, and then Thursday and Friday.
And sometimes there are exceptions on like holiday weekends,
Yeah.
but it's a tourist-driven business.
Okay. Okay, that's good.
Dr. Rossiter is the only person who can sign the.
He was, if you look at, there's a second one submitted a week later that was signed by an acting director, because Dr. Rossiter's absence was kind of extensive, so they put in an acting director of the aquarium. So up until that time, he was the only one that could sign.
But you can represent the aquarium agrees or
Yes.
approves the dates, right?
Yeah, and in fact, I also represent the luau operator, so I'm in the process of finalizing a lease for the luau operator.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, motion to approve request number 20-21089.
Second?
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 10, request number 20-21089 is approved.
Thank you and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Can we have Commissioner Lee back, please? Now on it.
I know, I don't get her.
Calling agenda item number 11, request number 20-21039 from Kenneth G.K. Wu on behalf of One Team Restaurant AMC.
Greetings, Mr. Chair, Commission members, and Arai. Kenneth Wu appearing for the applicant. This is a waiver request to allow the filing of the application for a temporary license more than 5 days after the previous license was surrendered. Previous licensee was Cafe Lani in the Alamani Shopping Center. They failed to renew the license as of July 1 of this year.
So is Marky Mark Wahlberg gonna come and apply?
We'll see. We'll see.
Hope so. Can you make
Can
sure
you give
he's
us
here?
a heads up? As soon as I know.
In-person appearance
Yes,
requested.
yeah.
Yes, yes, a very good
Formally
Vice Chair
requested
Gannabon.
and
Yes. Could you
Highly
please
recommended.
Could you instruct your client that the commission would like to see who we're granting the license to?
With all due respect, I will tell them exactly what you said.
We eagerly anticipate his arrival. We will be here. All right, we good, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, motion to approve request number 20-21039.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 11, request number 20-21039 is approved.
Exciting.
All the big dogs coming to Hawaii, huh? Commission, let's go to, agenda item number 3.
13.
13.
Pardon?
13.
13. Did I say, I said 3?
Yes.
Not bad, only 9 short, right? Yes, sir, please introduce yourself.
Chairman, good afternoon, Mr. Commissioners. My name is Tan Hong Wing. THANHUNGUNGUYEN. I am the owner of the report.
Okay, very good. Commissioners? This is a review.
3-month review.
If I recall, there were people who objected or protested the license. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Did you hear any complaints from neighbors about your business since the license was issued? I'm not sure why I remember this, but I remember a complaint about mopeds. Do you remember that?
Yes,
Um,
I remember.
Is there any moped issue going on in the parking lot? Thank you.
Can we hear from enforcement supervisor, please?
Catherine Fontaine, supervising investigator for enforcement. There was a warning issued to the licensed premises for no manager on duty and employee time records on August 22nd. It was followed up on September 26th, and they had complied. That's it. We haven't had any complaints.
Sorry, no noise complaints?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. If there's no further questions, there's no action required for this.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Can we have a short recess, please?
Yeah, please come.
We are now back on the record. Commissioners, can I have a type of action for agenda items number 14 through 28 inclusive?
Yes, Chair. Motion for the acceptance of plea and adoption of decision and order for agenda items 14 through 28 inclusive.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I vote aye. Acceptance of plea and adoption of decision and order, agenda items number 14 through 28 inclusive are approved. Let's move into the adjudication.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the Commission, and Ms. Rai. Deputy Corporation Counsel Monica Choi on the record for all adjudication matters on number 29 through 33. But I'd like to move out of order for agenda item 32 to be called first for Hilton Hawaiian Village LCV 19-0184.
Very good. Calling agenda item number 32, Hilton Hawaiian Village.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, Mr. Rai. Craig Nakamura, attorney on behalf of the licensee. And with me is Mr. Jeffrey Yedlin, that's Y-E-D-L-I-N, who's the Regional Director of Food and Beverage for Hilton.
Very good.
This is a, oh, sorry, do we?
Yeah, we waive the reading of the charges in the report.
How would you like to plead?
We plead no contest.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 32, the no contest plea is accepted.
Ms. Choi.
This is a first-time violation under HRS Section 281-41H. It's for the unauthorized transfer of a business. In this case, there was a transfer of the control of the liquor license under a lease agreement and a management agreement prior to obtaining the Commission's approval. And, oh, I'm sorry, my recommended fine is $500.
Thank you. Mr. Nakamura, any comment?
Yes, just very briefly, and I apologize that we have to appear before the Commission on this matter. Just by way of explanation and not an excuse, but there's two issues. One is the lease and one is the management. The lease occurred prior to the transfer. I think the Commission is familiar, like a lot of times in these situations, the hotel operator is actually more concerned about the substantive deal, dealing with the transaction, and rather than the local, what's happening in the local level. And unfortunately, they don't consult local counsel, when they do these transactions, so that's how they got into this situation as far as the lease. As far as the management agreement, Mr. Chair, this is basically, from what I understand, it's a reorganization, a corporate reorganization. The parties are essentially the same, but it's a transaction. I guess it has to be organized this way. As I think the Commission is aware, a lot of times it's common for hotels to operate under these types of management agreements. But in any situation, it's essentially the licensee that's always has the responsibility, the full responsibility for the sale, service, and consumption of liquor. So, and that's will be the case here. So we apologize that this occurred.
Motion to approve the recommended fine of $500.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 32, the recommended fine of $500 is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Merry Christmas. Good seeing you again.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. More often. Calling, moving on, back onto agenda item number 29, Taomina Sicilian Cuisine.
For this licensee, the licensee has submitted a written stipulation and a waiver to appear at the hearing. It's a first-time violation for having an unregistered employee under Rule 3-82-38.5A. And it's a first-time violation, and the recommended fine is $350. The licensee is pleading no contest.
Thank you.
Motion to accept the waiver of appearance and no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 29, the no contest plea is accepted.
Motion to approve the recommended fine of $350.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 29, the recommended fine of $350 is approved. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 30, Chinju. Mr. Luke.
Thought I was gonna make it here today. Anyway, may the record reflect Wayne Luke as counsel and authorized representative for the license. We waive reading of the charges and to a plea of no contest.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 30, the no contest plea is accepted.
Ms. Choi.
This is a first-time violation for having an unauthorized entertainment. In this case, it was a live DJ. My recommended fine is $500.
Mr. Luke, any comment?
No comment, we just had a manager who didn't understand the rules and we've straightened them out.
Thank you. Motion to approve the recommended fine of $500.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 30, the recommended fine of $500 is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Luke.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Calling agenda item number 31, Club 939.
Good afternoon, Stuart Shirasu, S-T-E-W-A-R-T, S-H-I-R-A-S-U.
Ms. Choi, the
Excuse me.
charges, please.
Yes, thank you, sorry. For charge one, on or about May 12th, 2018, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee's employee September Paget, whose conduct licensee is strictly accountable for under Rule 3-84-78.01A, and who is not employed as an exotic dancer, was unclothed or in such attire, costume, or clothing as to expose to view any portion of the pubic hair, anus, cleft of the buttocks, genitals, or any portion of the breast below the top of the areola, in violation of Rule 3-84-78.02A of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. Charge 2. On or about May 12, 2018, in the City and County of Honolulu, State of Hawaii, licensee encouraged and or permitted an unidentified male customer on the licensed premises to touch, caress, or fondle the breast, buttocks, anus, or genitalia of herself or any other person, either directly or through the clothing or any other material, in violation of Rule 3-84-78.042 of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. Charge 3. On or about May 12, 2018, in the City and County of Honolulu, State of Hawaii, licensee permitted and or allowed employee September Paget and an unidentified male customer to engage in lap dancing within the licensed premises as described in Rule 3-82-47 of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu, in violation of Rule 3-82-47.1C of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu.
Mr. Shirasu, how would you like to plead as to charge 1?
I plead guilty with explanation to all of them.
Okay, to all charges?
Yes.
All three?
Yes.
Motion to accept the pleas for charges 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 31, the no contest plea is accepted for,
Guilty.
pardon?
Guilty plea.
The guilty plea is accepted for charge 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
And Ms. Choi, what are your recommendations for these charges?
For charge number 1, it's a first-time violation. My recommended fine is $500. For the second charge, it's a first-time violation. My recommended fine is $1,000. For the third charge, it's a second-time violation. My recommended fine is $750. And in this instance, the nudity, the fondling, and the lap dancing occurred all in one occurrence.
Mr. Shirasu, go ahead. What happened?
Okay, so this happened about a year and a half ago, and since then, or immediately after that, we did make some changes to the way that we structure our private dancing. What happened in this situation is she took the customer to the private dance area and was told that it was full, so she had to wait. But instead of waiting, she and the customer ducked into one of our champagne rooms without anyone knowing where she was doing the dance. And that's when she got caught. So since then, a few of the changes that we made was one, that all doors have to be completely open when not used, the champagne rooms I mean, have to be open so that we know, obviously we can see what's going on. Two, the position of the bouncer who's in the back area, we moved so that he could more carefully watch the whole area back there. Three, we informed the dancers that if the bouncer is not in their line of sight, they need to stop dancing and just sit on the stage and wait till the bouncer comes off. So once in a while they get pulled away or whatever. So if he does get pulled away, he tells them to stop everything, and then they have to sit and wait on the stages until he comes back. And four, any dancer who is caught in violation is terminated. So she was terminated immediately because of this.
Thank you. Motion to approve the recommended fines of $500, $1,000, and $750 for a total of $2,250.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 31, charge number 1, 2, and 3, the recommended fines are approved for a total of $2,250.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's move on to agenda item number 33, Food Mart.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commission members, Kenneth Hu appearing for the licensee. And to my right is Sandra Hugh, H-I-U. She is the Retail Operations Manager who will waive reading of the charge and enter a plea of no contest.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 33, the no contest plea is accepted.
Ms. Choi.
This is a first-time violation for selling liquor to a minor. This, my recommended fine is $1,000. This violation occurred during our alcohol compliance enforcement program.
Thank you. Mr. Hu.
And in this case, sorry, the employee simply failed to follow the store procedures by allowing the sale to go through. It occurred at a time when the point of sale system didn't allow scanning. Now the point of sale systems allow scanning. So it makes it easier for the clerks to check and to make sure that everything is right. The employee is no longer an employee with the licensee.
Thank you. Motion to approve the recommended fine of $1,000.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 33, the recommended fine of $1,000 is approved.
Thank you, and greetings.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 34, do you have any administrative matters?
No.
Calling agenda item number 35, election of the chairperson for 2020.
I nominate Joe O'Donnell for chairperson for 2020.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Do you accept?
Motion is
That's my question. Do you accept?
Okay, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
accept, but let me just make you've heard it before, and I'm gonna say it again because I really appreciate working with each and every one of you, because I think we have the best commission in the history of this agency, and it's all because of you guys and helping out and all of your expertise. So, thank you very much for the confidence, and moving on.
Merry Christmas.
Going into 20.
Like we say in the union, it's not about me, it's about we. Okay? Oh, yeah, sorry about that.